agenda is coming to you live from Connaught Place. Now, not far from here is Vijay Chowk, and that's going to be the venue for a major campaign tomorrow. National Unity Day is going to be launched by the Prime Minister in memory of Sardar Patel. Now, all of it has turned into a major controversy, really, with lots of Congress leaders saying that this government is totally erasing out the memory on the death anniversary of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. We'll be talking about that in just a bit. We have historian Professor Mushirul Hassan here from the BJP. We have Nupur Sharma and a commentator and columnist Ashok Malik joining us over here. From the Congress, we have Ajay Kumar. Will be speaking to them about what the government plans, what it means for Indira's legacy to be pitched against Sardar Patel's in just a bit. First, a little bit more about the row that's broken out.
Sardar Patel's statue next to Parliament being cordoned off by the Delhi police. Government offices in the area cleared out by 2 in the afternoon. A security drill usually reserved only for Republic Day. On Friday, Prime Minister Modi will flag off Run for Unity, a mega event to celebrate Patel's 139th birth anniversary. But the government has no plan to commemorate the death anniversary of Indira Gandhi, and Prime Minister Modi is unlikely to visit her Samadhi, Shakti Sthal. Many are asking, is this an attempt to overshadow Indira Gandhi's legacy? Tharoor, who earned the Prime Minister's praise and his party's ire for participating in the Swachh Bharat campaign, tweeted, "Disgraceful that the government is ignoring the martyrdom of our only Prime Minister who was killed in office in the line of duty. October 31st forgotten?"
In my opinion, as a political activist, I do feel that they are trying to organize this march on such a large scale when there are so many other things also on the agenda on the page, because they want to somehow suppress the memory of the martyrdom of Indira Gandhi.
No, says the BJP, who accused the Congress of ignoring other leaders apart from the Gandhi-Nehru family.
Prime Minister Modi is according due respect to everyone who deserves it. In contributions, it is the Congress that may be somewhere guilty of trying to diminish the stature and remembrance of those who contributed to India becoming free.
Officially, though, the Congress downplayed the absence of a government function to commemorate Indira Gandhi's death anniversary.
For the other dignitaries, Congress President herself had said that it should be left over to the trust or to the political parties to organize such events. The government should organize only for Mahatma Gandhi. That was what Congress President herself in 2012 had said.
Congress does not want to make Friday's event a Patel versus Gandhi affair and argues Patel too was a Congress stalwart. But data from UPA's tenure shows that the government spent more in the memory of former prime ministers from the Gandhi family. Between 2010 and 2013, UPA spent 8.5 crores in advertisements of Sardar Patel, 14.5 crores for Indira Gandhi and 21 crore for Rajiv Gandhi.
The Congress gave a lot of importance to Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi instead of Sardar Patel. And I think this vacuum, the Narendra Modi using this particular ideological vacuum.
Even though October 31st is being celebrated as Ekta or Unity Divas, NDA government's grand plans to remember Sardar Patel and not Indira Gandhi ironically seems to have created a sharp political divide. With Rohit Bhan in Ahmedabad, in New Delhi, Sandeep Phukan, NDTV.
So that's really what our first talking point is about. Is it fair to black out Indira's assassination, and does it belittle her achievements? That's what we're really asking. And now the Congress has made this allegation. What do you say about that?
I've got nothing to say, in the sense that I think we are giving due to the person who was actually forgotten. So we are not forgetting anybody. We are just remembering the person who should have been equally remembered. And I think there is no harm, especially with somebody who was the first Home Minister, who gave us the integrated India, the nation as the United Nation, the United India that we live into. So I don't know why this is being politicized.
do you think it's because a lot of the events are actually marking Sardar Patel, but there is no event as such publicly for Indira Gandhi's anniversary by the government?
The point is that I think the government has actually, as per reports, I've not seen the government announcement. If the government has taken a decision that any political leader, just not Mahatma Gandhi, any political leader's birthday or death anniversary should be celebrated by the supporters, respective parties or trusts or societies that support the deceased person, that should be where it should be limited. And I think when you're talking about...
But that's not true of Sardar Patel?
So you have to understand it's not... tomorrow is the launch of a day.
Okay.
After this, I think the day should be remembered as National Unity Day.
Okay, as Ajay Kumar, respond to that. Various of your leaders have gone, and we've heard Ambika Soni, we've heard, Shashi Tharoor venting about it. Here's what the BJP is saying. They're not ignoring. They're just saying that it should be celebrated by various parties.
Sunetra, first of all, when the BJP is operating, I think it's operating with a very clear-cut strategy of trying to get these certain icons because they lack it. And it's very interesting. If you look at, there's a Times of India article which said that in Ahmedabad, Sardar Patel's own house is in a dilapidated condition. Nobody's bothered to, do anything about it. And there has been no function for so many years. I mean, you take Gujarat, you take Madhya Pradesh, or wherever the BJP governments are. I mean, this newfound, love for Sardar Patel is only a political desire to encroach on national icons, which sadly they lack. So Sardar Patel's role in India, definitely. And I saw, some running clips saying that the UPA government, the fact is that we did spend 8.5 crores. You're saying that we spent 14 crores on Indira Gandhi's memory. But Sardar Patel has always been an icon for the Congress. And the important part is that in 2012, the Congress president wrote a letter to Mr. Manmohan Singh. Sorry.
I think Nupur Sharma also wants to come in there about what you're saying. But before that, I just want to get Mushirul Hassan in.
Let me complete. One sec. Let me complete.
Okay.
So I'm just coming to a point. In 2012, Mrs. Gandhi wrote that except for the father of the nation, the rest of the icons should be celebrated by the various political parties. So that was one, I think, a very important step. So the whole, the NDA government to event manage, and I think it's very, you didn't do anything all these years. I mean, 14 years, 15 years, and suddenly you seem to have found an icon which you want to appropriate. So, and Mrs. Gandhi was the only Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi was the only Prime Minister.
Ajay Kumar, I think our panelists, Ajay Kumar, you made your point, but our panelists, and we'll let them have it, they're pointing out that, they've just come into government now. So that's how they're kicking it off as National Unity Day. Mushirul Hassan, obviously this has become a huge blame game between the BJP and Congress. But what do you think of the way the two icons are being pitched against each other?
Well, let me make it very clear that as a historian of modern India, I regard Sardar Patel as an outstanding leader whose contribution to the nation and to the freedom movement is beyond doubt. There's no question about it. And also that the nation has remembered him. There is, after all, this grand statue in Parliament about which you were talking. There are buildings which are named after him. And in his old state of Gujarat, and he was principally a regional leader who acquired, a stature of a great national leader as well. He is very widely remembered. My suggestion or submission is that I think there is, as far as this government is concerned, it has an ideological mission. And its ideological mission is being pursued by repudiating the Nehruvian legacy. Let me finish. Let me proceed.
Yeah.
By first of all reducing the Mahatma to the status of a Boy Scout. He is literally the 2nd of October should not have been celebrated in the way that it was.
It should not have been.
No, I mean this is what Boy Scouts do. Cleaning streets and cleaning latrines and so on. Gandhi deserved surely much more than that. And in the previous years or in the previous decades, we have remembered Gandhi and we have learned lessons from these occasions. Similarly, there are serious attempts being made to get rid of the Nehruvian legacy. Mm-hmm. So I think there is an element of conflict and dissension that has been unnecessarily being introduced. This is the nation, big
So you're
nation.
blaming the current dispensation?
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm
Okay.
saying this is the big nation which has produced great leaders
Yeah.
from different parts of the country,
Okay.
in different languages,
Okay.
from different religions.
Yeah.
You cannot appropriate one,
Okay.
and you cannot exclude the other. Indira Gandhi's role in the development of
Right.
this country is enormous.
Okay.
You may disagree, but she was Prime Minister of this country for a very long time.
Yeah.
She won the Bangladesh war. She brought credit to
And
the
you think
nation
this is
in several
manipulated?
different... Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Ashok Malik, do you have a different take?
Two things. One, there's a certain generation of leaders, the first generation of Free India's leaders, who, because politics was less competitive then, are really above faction. Patel was one of them. I would argue Nehru was also one of them, because he had his faults, but as did Patel, I'm sure. But his legacy as Prime Minister was very, very rich, and so was Patel's legacy as Home Minister. Indira Gandhi was not above faction. She came at a very different era in Indian politics. Her legacy was very mixed. I personally regard her legacy as very toxic. But Dr. Hassan may disagree. But her legacy was very mixed compared to the Patel and Nehru generation. Second, the Congress has handed over Patel to the BJP, or to a rival party, I would argue, by frankly ignoring and putting to oblivion a lot of leaders of that generation, not just Patel, but Radhaji, a whole bunch of leaders.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you look
No,
at-
that's
if you look-
interesting.
if
So,
you look
in
at-
fact,
if you look at Maulana Azad,
That's it.
example,
Yeah, okay.
The only ad issued in newspapers in the UPA years was by the Ministry of Minority Affairs.
Yeah.
Is that what we reduced Maulana Azad to, a Muslim leader?
no, that's interesting, and you're agreeing with that. And we should perhaps, I know you want to come in, but I think the charge that you're making, let's get Ajay Kumar respond to that. Is the Congress, in fact, that's a talking point, is the Congress guilty of ignoring Sardar Patel, like Ashok Malik is saying, and a lot of other leaders?
You know, if you look at it, the National Police Academy is named after Sardar Patel. Even if you look at the advertisement budget, you might say that you spend more on Indira Gandhi, but the fact is that you spent 8 crores, your own news just ran it, you spent 8 crores on Sardar Patel. So, you know, it's very easy for Ashok and others to say that, but in terms of whether it is the buildings being commemorated in his... So I want to ask another counter question, that if the national NDA government or the Bharatiya Janata Party government in Gujarat or Madhya, have they named any buildings after him? Have they done anything in his memory? And if suddenly, if they're appropriating these icons, it's purely as an event management for political appropriation. Because if he was so sincere, then why is his house for the past 14 years in such a dilapidated condition? Why isn't the memory of Patel in Gujarat not the strongest? The statue was a political objective. It started as before the elections as a campaign where you started those runs. So India is, like Professor Mushirul Hassan said, and like I think everybody would agree, that India is large enough for all the leaders. But I think the magnanimity of the
Ajay
government
Kumar,
was to look at all the leaders.
Ajay Kumar, let the BJP respond to that.
Your
Yeah.
speech, please.
Yeah, let him respond. Okay.
There are too many people who've spoken,
Yeah.
so I'll go one by one.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you say that BJP has just, last night it has woken up to it. That's not true. I think we've been actually remembering Sardar Patel's legacy for a long time, and that's not only in the past 1 year. It's been a couple of years. It's been more than a couple of years. It's been 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years.
Sure.
You are the people.
Do you want to
allow me to complete? Second, you talk about Indira Gandhi. Why did you forget Lal Bahadur Shastri? Was he not a Prime Minister of the Congress government? Wasn't he the second Prime Minister of the Congress government? Why have you forgotten him? Why have you forgotten people like Narasimha Rao? You've actually distanced yourself. And when you talk about, oh, we have actually named Police Academy in his name, it's like you're actually giving concessions that everything belongs to the Gandhi family, the rest will belong to the other leaders.
That's an
of the
interesting
Congress.
point you bring up.
The point is he goes on to say, well, I actually tend to agree with Ashok, because she's also the reason why we had the emergency. She's also the reason why we had an entire dictatorship today. I can't
Can I
imagine.
clarify? Are you saying that it's justified, because that's what Ashok was also saying, that her legacy may be patchy and toxic is the word that
I personally think it's
Ashok
toxic.
Malik used.
I would say that.
which is
I
why
would say the
are you
emergency.
justifying
No, I'm
playing
not
it
saying
down?
that. I'm not even saying that. I think the word even pitching is wrong, because it so happened that she died the day Sardar Patel was born. You can't separate the dates.
I simply
Yeah.
want to suggest that
Yeah.
this whole business of exclusion, is not good for the nation. I mean, of course, Sardar Patel deserves an important place. Of course, Azad deserves an important place. Rajaji, of course, was an outstanding leader. There's no question about it. But this whole business of excluding some
Okay.
and at the expense of including meaning
Professor
somebody
Hassan, I
else.
wanted to ask that specific question that they both brought up, which is interesting because it echoes with a lot of people, that is it because the Congress has ignored everybody apart from, you know, people belonging to the Gandhi family? They talk about Lal Bahadur Shastri, and of course they now talk about Sardar Patel, but have they excluded him themselves?
Of course, as Mr. Malik rightly pointed out, yes, people like Azad, many other important leaders, I don't want to go into the names, but very many important leaders was included. But that doesn't mean that we set in process something which may prove divisive. Let's not do it. The government has many important things to perform, many important responsibilities to fulfill. Let's concentrate on this. But every single morning you get up and there's some strange idea that meets your eye, and you begin to reflect on it and wonder, I mean, what
I think the Congress, Ajay Kumar wants to come in, and I think they need to explain to all the charges that everybody is leveled that perhaps the Congress itself is guilty of neglecting its own leaders, other than the first family.
You know, Sunitra, so I keep saying that there are lots of things we did for all the other leaders. Obviously, there will be a lot we could have done, and that's and we take that feedback very appropriately. But the issue is like what is the whole thing is smacks of politics. That's the issue. The issue is you're appropriating icons only to push your political agenda. It is not. Because look, if Mrs. Gandhi, the Prime Minister, once can I complete? Can I complete? No, I need to complete. Then you can go ahead. Give me a minute because I was speaking. So what I'm saying is, Mrs.
Only 30
Gandhi.
seconds. We only have
Mrs. Gandhi. Yeah. So Mrs. Gandhi was a very important statesperson of this nation. So what was it for this government to show the adequate same amount of respect? I mean, why did you have to be divisive? That is the stand. And secondly, why don't we agree that except for the father of the nation, like the Congress president said, let all political parties have their own functions for the various leaders. I mean, at least that will remove this.
I just want to do a quick straw poll over here. If Gandhi and Indira Gandhi and Sardar Patel are associated, because that's what everyone's saying, whose legacy do you associate Sardar Patel with, of being the law Purush, associated him with the NDA, and is Indira Gandhi only about the Congress, or is she a pan-Indian leader? Like, I just wanted views about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, basically, if we look at this matter, that actually presently NDA is associating Sardar Patel with themselves and Congress is doing that with Indira Gandhi. But this is not what I want my governments to do. Okay. It should be a government of India. It is not a government of BJP, or it is not a government of Congress.
And you wanted to say? I would like to say that firstly, going back to the history, the role Patel has been played was more of the pan-Indian thing than what Indira Gandhi did, because of the fact that Patel, going back in 1946, 13 states out of 16 states voted for Patel for the presidency, post of presidency, but it was because of Gandhi that he backed off.
So, Ashok Malik, some of the things that Professor Hassan also talked about, do you think perhaps there is a mistake in completely, because there is no event around from the government side, so is that justified because they played up too much? Because yes, it is a lot less. If you look at the budget, Indira Gandhi's was 14.5, whereas Patel's was 8.5 crore. Yes.
I don't want to reduce historical memory to statistics, crude statistics like Ajay Kumar has. So number of buildings named after Patel, amount of money spent on Patel, because if you take that measure, the Gandhis win on every count. There are more buildings, more schemes, more kabaddi tournaments named after them than Patel. So that is no comparison. Second, you see, the Congress historiography all these decades has promoted the Gandhi family, particularly after Indira. I mean, I would distinguish Nehru from this, to be honest. As Indira and her successors, as the pan-Indian leaders, as national leaders, above faction, above caste, community, region. By implication, every other leader or icon is sub-regional, associated with a caste. So Charan Singh becomes a Kulak leader or a Jat leader. Patel becomes a Gujarati. Subhash Bose is a Bengali. Rajaji is this Brahmin Madrasi, who's the right-winger. Madan Mohan Malviya is a Brahmin from UP. Somebody on television appearing on a program would be a Congress.
Totally out of time, yeah.
Actually said Patel is being is being extolled by Modi because he wants the Patel caste vote in Gujarat. So Patel is reduced to a caste leader. This is what the Congress has been doing.
Okay, so obviously, and we're totally out of time because there seems to be so many contentious issues, but perhaps what everyone really wants to, Ajay, we're totally out of time as well. I think this debate will just continue. It's just a teaser of what we should expect tomorrow. Tomorrow being National Unity Day.
I only want to say that the mistakes of the past should not be repeated by the present government.
That's perhaps a perfect note to end on. And that's it on Agenda. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks for watching. More on this news coming up all day tomorrow on NDTV. Stay with us.